Free to choose. Joshua 24. A declaration often seen on decorative plaques hanging in Christian homes or churches is, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Joshua 24:15. Those who post this pronouncement do so as an affirmation of their own personal biblical faith, that they and their family have committed themselves to follow the Lord. But the entire verse contains much more than just this short phrase. The full verse actually circumscribes the manner in which Christianity was practiced in early America. Notice the entirety of what Joshua told the people in that verse. If it is disagreeable in your sight to serve the Lord, choose for yourselves today whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, which were beyond the river, or the gods, the Amorites, in whose land you are living. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua offered the people a choice. He announced that he and his family were going to serve God, but that if the people considered that choice to be disagreeable to them, they were free to choose differently. They could choose to serve the gods in Egypt from whence they had come and where they had lived in bondage, or they could choose the gods of the land into which they were entering and which God would destroy, or they could choose the Lord. They had a choice. They were not coerced to serve God. They could make their own personal decision and would live with the consequences. Christian leaders embraced this free market approach to religion in America from the very beginning, establishing it both in law and policy, first in the colonies and then afterward when the colonies became states. Significantly, those early Christian leaders did not embrace this approach because they were indifferent to Christianity or because they believed all religions equal or they held an opposite position on both points. But based on biblical teachings, they believed that individuals must make their own voluntary choice about their faith and then live with the results, even if that choice meant the difference between heaven and hell. God had established this non-coercive approach as his modus operandi from the very beginning. After creating Adam and Eve and placing them in the Garden of Eden, he allowed them a choice that meant the difference between continued fellowship with him or separation from him. There was neither force nor pressure nor coercion applied to their decision. It was completely their own voluntary choice to live in his love or to reject him. They chose poorly and then lived with the consequences. Joshua had followed this pattern, as did Moses, Deuteronomy 30:19, and Elijah. In fact, in Elijah's contest against the prophets of Baal atop Mount Carmel, 1 Kings 18:21, Elijah came near to all the people and said, "How long will you hesitate between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal, follow him." And not only did Elijah offer the people their choice, but he also permitted the followers of Baal to take additional time to express their faith. 1 Kings 18:25-29. When they finished, Elijah presented his case for the God of Israel, and the people made their choice. Elijah, even though outnumbered 450 to 1, nevertheless embraced competition, believing that if given an equal opportunity to compete and win the people's allegiance, when eternal truth was presented and the comparison made, the people would choose correctly. The New Testament is filled with examples following the same pattern, demonstrated first by Jesus himself, then by the apostles Peter and Paul, then by the ministers Philip and Timothy, etc. Christians, both then and now, believe that when truth is presented to people, the Holy Spirit will confirm it in the hearts of the hearers. John 15:26, 16:3, 1 John 2:27, and it will eventually triumph. Sometimes truth is accepted, 1 Thessalonians 2:13, and sometimes rejected, 2 Thessalonians 2:10-12. But the key is to present the gospel in its unvarnished truth. The founders also believed that the truth of Christianity would prevail on its own merits, that Christianity need fear no other religion. They therefore followed the biblical model of allowing people to make a free choice. As Thomas Jefferson explained, truth can stand by itself. If there be but one right religion, and Christianity that one, we should wish to see the 999 wandering sects gathered into the fold of truth. But against such a majority, we cannot effect this by force. Reason and persuasion are the only practical instruments. To make way for these, free inquiry must be indulged, and how can we wish others to indulge it while we refuse it ourselves? Founder Noah Webster, a devout Christian and an early judge and legislator responsible for specific language in the U.S. Constitution, similarly reminded Christian Americans, let us reject the spirit of making proselytes to particular creeds by any other means than persuasion. James Madison agreed. If the public homage of a people can ever be worthy of the favorable regard of the holy and omniscient being to whom it is addressed, it must be that in which those who join in it are guided only by their free choice, by the impulse of their hearts and the dictates of their consciences. And such a spectacle must be exciting to all Christian nations. Ezra Stiles, 1727 to 1795, a conservative evangelical Christian theologian and president of Yale, rejoiced in the free market approach to religion produced by American Christianity. Religious liberty is peculiarly friendly to fair and generous disquisition. Here, deism will have its full chance, nor need libertines more to complain of being overcome by any weapons but the gentle, the powerful ones of argument and truth. Revelation, the Bible, will be found to stand the test of the 10,000th examination. Because of this free market approach, American Christians openly received numerous religious groups to America, including Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, and many others, but they were also faithful to share the gospel and offer a choice to every individual. As believers, we need not be fearful of any other religion. After all, if someone has chosen Christianity, it is because he or she believes it to be the truth. The truth does not need to be threatened by opinions of others. Our genuine love for God and for others, and the conviction that God will cause the truth to prevail when presented, enables us to welcome those from different religions. There is no need to exclude religious competition, but rather wholeheartedly embrace the free market approach to faith, another of America's many historic policies derived from the Bible.